I got along really well with Jadon, and his talent was clear to see. Like, he's a 1v1 specialist, I'd say. Yeah. I think people feared him. People really feared him on the pitch.
So out of that group at that time, put yourself aside, from seeing what you've seen, training, day in, day out, is there anyone there who you're surprised at, who was really, really, like, not surprised as in they weren't talented, everyone was talented, but they've really excelled? And is there anyone who probably you thought, do you know what, I'm unsure, and they've gone on and done something?
If I'm honest, like I say, we had the best at City. They signed the best players. Obviously, there's a few local lads, a few lads that have been brought in. Yeah. Obviously, you look at Phil, and from Phil being 8. Like, I knew Phil from when I was trying to get a contract at City. Yeah. But everyone knew who Phil was, even like grassroots football around here. They didn't grow up where Phil grew up. They knew who he was. So he always had the hype, and there was times, he'll probably know, like on this photo, he's tiny, and I think at this time he was great. There was a time where he started to grow, which I think he was struggling with, like pace and physical movement, but his technical ability and his awareness was
tactical side.
Never in question. And then once he's grown into his body, you've seen what.
So obviously, I knew you'd mention Phil.
Yeah.
Because do you know what, he's always been.
Yeah, always.
So talented, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So obviously, Jadon arrived from Watford.
Yeah.
What was it like when Jadon first came?
Yeah, Jadon, I got along really well with Jadon, and his talent was clear to see. Like, he's a 1v1 specialist, I'd say. Yeah. And I think people feared him. People really feared him on the pitch. Like, Instagram was growing. He had a bit of a following, obviously moving to Man City. Yeah. And I don't think anyone wanted to get like megged by him because it might go on Instagram. So people defended him like poorly, and he just tore people to shreds. He played on that, and he tore people to shreds. Yeah.
Brahim, what about Brahim?
Yeah, and again, Brahim.
I'll tell you a story about Brahim. So when Pellegrini came, I was in a meeting, and when he came, part of Pellegrini coming was, you need to go and sign this kid.
Yeah.
Scott Sellar says, you're looking after this boy, right? And this kid come in, and he was like, I think Moroccan background.
I think
massive family.
Yeah.
Different culture completely for me. It was a bit of an eye-opener.
Yeah.
But the family, where every single person was behind this kid, and this kid was like just a workhorse.
Yeah.
And I remember having many a session on my own with Brahim.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? At first, I couldn't see it. But then when he was put in the group, oh my God.
Yeah. He could. It was crazy. Like 14, 15, he's dribbling both feet. Like,
left, right, unpredictable.
You can't tell the difference. People could dribble with both feet, but he's doing it like the ball's not moving from his foot. Yeah. There was always the debate who was better, Phil or Brahim, and I just said they're totally different players. Like Phil plays on the half turn better than anyone I've seen.
The thing what I would say, this is me personally, and you know, love them both. I think they're both great lads. But there was a certain point where I think they both were getting a lot of attention. Yeah. I think all three of them were getting a lot of attention. They were, right? Including the first team, including the media, including social media. And when I used to take the younger kids, the under 10s, under 11s in the gym, and you guys would be finishing your conditioning or your training with people like Shane and people like that, Matt Cook. Brahim was always one of the last ones out. Now, you can either go, Brahim was the last one out because he's working harder than everyone else. Yeah. Or he's the last one out because he's not doing as much as everyone else and he's taking his time. Yeah. I remember once I was in there, I watched Phil and I watched Brahim, and I took someone round the training ground and I come back. And as I'm walking back, Phil's gone. His top was absolutely like
Drenched.
full of sweat, sweating. He had his City gear on.
Yeah.
Brahim was in the gym, but he had his new gear on, what was sent off, whatever brand it was. Yeah. And if you looked at him, he looked brand new. So I think a big thing for me is going back to that whole group and how talented that group is. I think the ones who are still having a career, or the ones who have really, really kicked on with a career, it's all around mentality.
Yeah.
It's around approach. It's around sacrifice. It's discipline. You know, everything what you spoke about. And there's the saying what I always say: the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
So the way your mum and dad are, look at the way you are.
Yeah.
And you probably had times where there's friction because you wanted to do something and they're going, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at the bigger picture.
Correct. Yeah.
And the same thing is as soon as a young athlete or a player can start to look at the bigger picture, every choice you make will help you towards that.
Yeah.
If you want to do something short term and you're not looking long term, then you're probably going to fail at some point.
Yeah.